We are chilling, and Bree is in the background getting ready, and some other folks are typically on their way about 5 minutes late because, let's be honest, that's the standard Trevor has set, and that's the standard that I expect. 5 minutes late is on time as long as it's good for you. Bree, that is not distracting at all in the background. I'm going to tell you what. No, I'm just playing with you. We are so happy to be here. I'm going to run a quick 30-second intro here, and I will see you back in a minute where we're going to talk about shorts, reels, and pitches. We are going to get after it today. You are going to be leaving with stuff today if you hang out with us. Thanks for being here.
Here we are. You were about to talk to me and I cut you off. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are live.
We are live, and I love that one because that is a clip that Bree put together really early on, and I really, really liked it. It's an example of a short, and that's what we're going to be making today. So, to jump right into it, first of all, to create a YouTube short is really, truly one of the easier things you'll ever do. Oh, I got to get us up and running. Our other screens. So why don't you join me over on our second screen, where I'm going to go live on our U screen. This is a little behind the scenes look at where we make it go live to our website. So this little button now makes it so this is going to be updated because I forgot to hit it. There's like a 10-15 second lag usually, but it should start playing at NumoSpect.com, which is pretty cool. But YouTube is what we're talking about today. So you have these shorts buttons. You have all these different places. Just like everybody else, that they're pushing shorts, just like Instagram pushes reels and TikTok does TikToks. It's short form content. It is not the era we live in forever and ever because there's more to content than just short form content, but it is good to be good at short form content because that is a big way that they're pressing visibility. And it's a good way to add some cheap views to your YouTube page if you're YouTube shorts. It's a cheap way to add cheap likes to your social media presence on Instagram and on TikTok. So again, short form isn't everything, but it is something we want to get right if we're going to bother to do it. And rest assured, everybody tells us we should, so we might as well do it. I am going to invite Robin in just a moment. She is heading in as well. So whenever she pops on screen, gives me the thumbs up, I will let anybody in who is ready to rock. But I want to show you the magic of this. This is why we're not going to. So the truth is, we're not going to spend a ton of time on how to put up a YouTube short because it's so flippin' easy to make a YouTube shorts out of existing long form content. That is to say, once you've got your content on YouTube, turning it into a YouTube short is a pretty easy process. And we don't really need to overthink it too much today. Most of us as independent creators play at. Now, if you have a team of social media people, let them do your bidding for you. But if you're like us, a lot of days where you're just doing it yourself, thanks, buddy, doesn't need to be too fancy. We can just get after it. So let's go to a little fuzzy logic from last Friday. Couple things to notice as we jump in here. It does say includes paid promotion, and that's because we always let our guests promote a little bit. So because that's part of what we do. Let's see if it's going to let us do it. Sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't from here. It's really easy on your phone to turn this into a short. Is that all I need to do? Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to do. So let's pick a part that we like and see if we can turn it into a short real fast. Hi, Bree.
Let's do that. I'm here, waiting on Robin. She'll be here in a
Yeah,
sec.
we're waiting on no one to get going because you can watch it afterwards anywhere. I love when I say something and Elsie's eyes just go straight to the roof.
Is that where you decide to grab it from? It's like, oh, I think I'll take that.
All right, let's see if we can get to a good part. So this is, I would say oh yeah, of course, Robin. We're waiting to see you on camera. How are you? Robin, can you hear us? Robin, you've been let in. Your audio and video are not working though. So let us know when you are, but we're happy to have you. So what I'm doing right now is simply scrolling through where we might pull our first YouTube short. Like I'm just jumping right in, Bree, because it's so easy. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it works out that way. So I want
So
us
they don't
to.
give you suggestions. You can just create from wherever you decide.
Well, so far as I've ever seen it, that is the case. Yeah, YouTube doesn't have like an analytics that's like, oh, based on the facial expressions that someone is making right now, we suggest stealing this particular clip out of here. That's not what I have seen anywhere, but you and I know there's enough AI programs out there, like Charles is at Pinnacle AI and others that are similar, where they probably would do that for you. And like I said before, like if you're having somebody help you with these things, then don't even worry super, hard about it, because once you get it up, they can optimize it and do all the cool stuff for you. All right, so it says it wants a title. What should we call this clip?
Well, do we need to know what the clip is first? And how long do we want this clip to be?
They max it out on YouTube, I believe, at 15 seconds.
Oh, it's only 15. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, so that's and I kind of like 15. It gives us a nice, it's easy to remember. That's all I care about, is I can't remember. So, and I also think that that's what we've heard in other short form content, is like that 10 to 15 second range is pretty solid, right?
Yes.
So it does kind of work out that way. Anytime we have smiles, that's a good place to pull clips from, because people be liking the smiles, and that makes perfect sense because we're all looking for a little bit more smile. So let's just call it smiles clip 1. And let's see what happens, because I haven't actually done it through here before, but I'm banking that this is what it's going to do. It's calling it a clip, not a short, so I am pretty interested to see what happens here. It's really easy on the phone, and I'll tell you how to do it on your phone in a little bit here, but I really just wanted to see how quick I could do it out of the gate today. Share in a post. Watch last week's.
What?
Ready for this?
It
Friday.
says what? It says what? What last week's? Sorry, just giving you a heads up there.
I think you're all right, so this is literally calling this a smiles clip, and it doesn't appear to be putting it in short. It says, I'm here and no idea why you can't hear me. Robin, it'd be that little gear button in the bottom. And there's a little gear button that's a settings. And you go into there and look for audio first, and video, and just see if you can toggle your inputs and see if that's what it is. Typically, that's what it is. No hurry, no worries. We'll be here. All right, let's see if that works. I think that that's just going to create a regular old post. Cool. So it created a post. It's probably going to take me that clip. Interesting.
It took you to the whole thing.
Well, it did, but it didn't. It only took me to the clip.
Oh, okay.
But then it says watch full video. So it just that's cool. Did you see what it did?
Yeah, it just took that little bit out of it, but then invited them to watch the whole thing.
And then into where that clip starts in the video when I click watch full video. That's a cool feature. That's something that YouTube Shorts and the actual like the shorts that's missing from this, is to watch the full video. I don't think that. So it pops us immediately into the clip that we were watching. It starts us there into the whole video. I kind of like that. What do you think about it?
No, you didn't. I was muting myself because I'm probably breathing right into my microphone.
Well, breathing is important. So that was pretty cool. I like that feature. So that is one way we can do short form via YouTube. That's kind of new for even me, but I like that a lot in terms of its shareability, because I'm guessing that if we were to do that on the Twitter, that we would probably get something similar. So let's just go ahead and do that. And I got to go back and tag Gordon later. He wants me to tag him, and that makes perfect sense. Let's watch this. Okay, so it pulls it right up on Twitter. Big fan of that. And it pulls up the whole video, but it starts at where the clip is.
Nice.
That's pretty neato. Well, we learned something today. Get after it like that. So this isn't technically a YouTube short, what we just did, according to this. It's a YouTube clip. But by immediately sharing that clip out, we are able to then utilize that clip as like an advertisement that bumps people immediately to the full video, which is super cool. Now, what it hasn't done is made it super easy to turn that into a short yet. So let's see if there's a way we can figure that out right quick before we get into actually what we're going to say.
So you
Sorry,
say
I
it's
didn't
easier
put
to
you
do
on
on
the
your
screen.
phone?
It is. It's way easier to do on your phone.
Okay.
In at least in my experience. So you'll see that even so far, 5-10 minutes into this, I haven't really found the button in that video where I can turn this into a short. But if I go to my phone, so actually that's not a bad practice. Bree, if you would hang with me a little bit here. Who we got in here? Your broadcast is on my channel. Jesse, you told me it was okay, so I figured what the heck, right? If you want me to take it off, let me know, man.
I have an
thought
idea.
to myself though, yeah, hit me.
Go to your studio. Go to your YouTube studio on the desktop.
Okay. It's. Did you find it? Because
Possibly
it's not that easy.
Possibly it's not
I
that
like where
easy.
you're headed though.
Okay,
So let's go to that
go to
episode.
create.
This is just if you haven't seen this, y'all, you're missing out. So if you go to your YouTube, you should be able, if you're a business or a brand and you have your own YouTube page, hopefully you've turned it on so YouTube, Google knows that you're a business and therefore gives, or a creator, and gives you creator status on here, which then gives you a studio area. And the YouTube studio area is something that Meredith will slap me for saying, but is one of the most underrated places for creating if you haven't used it. It's really, really, it's a good place. So, but you do have to have like that creator status or whatnot set up. So you want me to go to this video, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now what?
I'm looking to see where it is.
Okay. Yeah. So that's okay because I can do that too. So click around here. I thought maybe it found something because I don't think it's here. But we might be able to go to the editor. Hi, buddy.
See, I can't get to this part, so it's harder for me because I don't have the ability to edit videos on here because I'm not the owner of the channel.
Okay, so we
it makes
can
it a
work
little
on
harder
that.
for me.
Well, if it's making it impossible, then it's really, and this is kind of where they fall, I will say, on the studio page for all the great things it does. They haven't come up with a really seamless way to transition to shorts from here that I know about. So again, where I have been making shorts is on the phone. So if you go to your own channel in shorts, or excuse me, in YouTube, not in shorts. I apologize for my bad language here. If you go to your own YouTube channel on your phone, click on your channel so you can like see the layout like everyone else does. And then click on the video that you'd like to make a short out of, like the full form content video. Oh, it actually has the clip up. It does the same thing, Bree. That's so cool though. I really like this. And then there's a remix button. And anytime you're either, whether we're in this format on the screen or whether you're on the phone, YouTube sets it up so the remix button is your entry level. Like that's how you get in to make a short, is you have to click the remix button. And then it's going to say edit or cut it. Of course, we're going to edit into a short. Easy. All you have to do is follow directions and pick the part you want. Like it's very, very straightforward to get your first short up. Now, next time or a different time, we can talk to somebody like Amy Montgomery or Meredith about optimizing it. But for now, just get your short up because that is our primary goal, is to get your shorts up. In terms of YouTube, they're pushing them. But your short form content, once it's in YouTube, can go everywhere. And short form content is really one of the most pushed promo places. So that's why it's important. Any luck with finding a place here?
No, but because I got distracted by Topaz, who's having a hard time finding her way in. And so, and I don't know what
Okay.
Robin's doing, but we need to.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Do you want to swap or?
Well, I'm just going to send this to her.
Okay, cool. So that is a little bit about how you can get it up. Again, I don't want to beat the how to get it up completely to death, because the truth of the matter is there are so much videos. There are so many contents out there about how to utilize your YouTube page, how to make your shorts great, how to make your reels great, how to make your TikToks great. Like, that is not us in terms of the optimization part of it. There are so many resources in terms of the nuts and bolts, the technicals of how to get those right. Like, let's use some of those people who have already invented that wheel. The important part is knowing how to get your first couple up, and then other folks on how to optimize and get it right will certainly help you too. But the most important part for most people we know is just that simple act of getting it going. So getting your short form content key. So knowing that it's easy is important, and it is easy especially through the app. And once it's in the YouTube short form, it becomes pretty usable everywhere else. So you could imagine yourself downloading that and just putting it on TikTok. You could imagine yourself resharing that into an Instagram reel. So there's a lot of ways you can reuse it. Now, the next question that you might consider is, would the content for the 15-second YouTube clip be universal to all the platforms in terms of what you're saying? Do you think,
Explain that.
Bree? So what a pro would ask or suggest probably is that Instagram and TikTok have a different user base than does YouTube. And so, different message, or do you think it's acceptable to have the same or similar short form content across your platforms?
I think you can have the same or similar. I think the only thing that would be different is timing. And I like if we keep it at 15 seconds, you can go up to 60 seconds, but you're going to lose people. People like those bites. They just want a little bite, right? Think of it as like when you go to a really, really expensive restaurant and they bring out the appetizer and it's the size of a Ritz cracker, right? Like that's all there is to it. There's all it is this one little tiny little thing that you get to taste. It's a taste. And so make it a taste, keep it short, get them to go to your to go see the rest of it. That's the point of it. It also, yeah, it does help with your channel. If you're trying to grow a YouTube channel, it definitely helps with your channel because people have a tendency to watch, they binge it. So they'll watch several of yours
Yeah.
and that definitely helps. But when it comes to the content, I think the content can be universal as long as you get straight to the point. As long as it's like if you're doing just a clip of something you've already done, make it a good clip. Make it the best 15 seconds, or find like 3 or 4 of the best 15 seconds that you like from that episode, or whatever that piece of content is, and
Mm-hmm.
make sure it's the best, that you're grabbing their attention right away. Come in the middle of something sometimes, as long as they can still
What do you
understand
mean
what
by
that.
that?
If
Like,
I like reactions. So my thing
okay.
would be a reaction. So say you've asked a question, or somebody has uh Gordon, we'll pick on fuzzy logic. Gordon has been talking about something
Yeah.
and it gets Elsie ready and she's just like, "Oh, hold on a minute." And I don't need to hear what Gordon said. I want to bring me in at that moment. Bring me in when I'm getting that reaction, and let it flow for 15 seconds after that, right? So like bring me in at a point that's going to immediately like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And if they don't get the whole entire thing, that's okay. Send them, they'll go
Okay.
over and find it. So I think that's one of the biggest things to do. Um,
How
there's
much stock do you put in shorts? Because to your point, like, you said something just a second ago that I want to like spend a half a second on. It's
Sure.
if they like what they see or they want more, they'll just go over to it. And
Yeah.
I would contend that that's not always the case. I don't think YouTube Shorts has converted many people to subscribers in our case, even though
I beg to differ.
we've gotten thousands upon thousands of views. Well,
then what are we
Hit
doing
me.
wrong? So it's not so much. I love that we're getting thousands of views on our shorts. I think that we don't have a clear call to action in some cases, possibly, and we don't make it known what we
Where
want
though?
them to do
In a
in the
15-second
short.
video, where do
In
you
the
put?
short, so that
So
is going to
again,
be
I
your.
would contend that that's not the case because I watch a ton of short content. So are you talking like in the 15-second clip, you should also tell people to like and subscribe because that doesn't fit with jumping into content?
I'm not. No, I'm not telling them you should tell them to like and subscribe. I'm saying that you should have it in your comments. There's things that you can do as when you're putting it in your pinned comments, because they're not going to
Oh,
see the video description. So you need to make sure that your hashtags. This is when those hashtags and those things, like, you definitely wanted to say hashtag shorts because that's what people look up. They want to watch shorts, and then
so you
you want
hold
to.
on. Where do you put that? You just like
That
breeze
is going
over
to.
that. Sounds important.
It is. So if you're looking at what you just did, when you're
Uh-huh.
in there creating that video, the what you're writing in there is important. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing what people are seeing at the bottom of that screen, which is your comments on stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so
So when
let's
you're
pull
going
it
to
up here.
go, yep, go to edit
Uh,
video.
Let me actually go to a short so we can
Okay.
look at this because that's what we're talking about, right? Is you want to look at specifically a short. So let's look specifically at a short. Let's look at this one. So these are a couple really good examples of like nail the opening clip because there's somebody laughing. Do you agree?
Yes.
Like these are great.
Coming in a
And I
big
did
emotion. That's great. So stop for a
okay.
second
So
on those. Stop
yep.
for that. What did you write in there?
Where?
On the bottom of the screen. Greg is a dancing politician and the crowd goes wild. Hashtag wild. Um, you can, this is where I'm talking about. Those that what you're putting down there is very important. You should have hashtag shorts on there. You have hashtag wild. You want to put a few more hashtags in there. You want to definitely put some kind of call
Well,
to action in there.
yeah, let's do it. What would you have me put here? Like literally, what would you tell me to put instead of just theoreticals? We have it right here. What would you want me to put?
I would put hashtag shorts.
Okay. I don't know if it's gonna let me edit this right now. So let's
Okay.
take a look. So here are the descriptions. It looks like maybe I have to go over to here. Videos. There we go. So once you're in the studio, you can do a lot of those post edits. So what we did earlier in this conversation was simply get the short up, and then once you get the short up, you can go back and edit all the details to it. Again, the important part is getting it up, and then you can go back in anytime you want, and you can tweak some of the stuff like Bree is suggesting we do. So here we go. We are in the belly of the beast that is YouTube Studio to do some editing in our short.
So you're going to put this in the description. So descriptions are usually hidden. They're part of the three dots that are at the bottom. So in the bottom in the description, you can put a link to our channel. You can have it right there so people can go right into our channel. You don't want to have a lot of spaces. This is a tight little fit. It's got to fit on that screen. So you're going to be running all of these things together like a very unpolished sentence. Just an FYI.
Okay.
Right? So they can watch. Yeah. Why is it such a long description?
So right now we're just doing what Bree tells us to do, which if you've ever watched Bree before is the smartest thing you can always choose. Just do what Bree says. So yeah, hyperlinks are long. Hyperlinks take up a ton of space. That is
That's where you definitely want to maybe look at getting a bit.ly. But
faggot of life. Yeah, I don't know what that is, so y'all have to show me some other time.
okay, I will
Is
show
this
you
what
a
you wanted
bit.ly.
me to do?
Yeah, I want you to put some things
Okay.
in there that people can find things. So you definitely want to give them a place to go watch so that they. I would say if the maybe not send them to Numos. I wouldn't send them to the Creator Lab necessarily. I would send them to the YouTube for sure, because you want them to go follow you. Yeah, right there. That's a good one. You want to make sure that's in there. You can have the join, but it's gonna you're pushing a lot.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I understand, but as you said, people are only going to see the top. So to me, what you put at the bottom of your description is like extra and probably not super detrimental, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Do you think that the content that you put in the description past the part where people might read, do you feel it's detrimental?
I don't think it's detrimental. I think you want them to click. They want to, if they're hooked in, they want to know more, they're going to hit those 3 buttons.
We can do this too. Do you know what this is? So if you really want to get into YouTube Studio and crush whatever video, whether it's a short or the YouTube, find somebody that knows what they're talking about. But I do know from clicking around that here are some things you can do once you're in the studio. We can have another video run after this.
That's what we want to do. So that was the next thing on my list of things that we need to do, is that we want our shorts to run in order so that people can get the next one. Yep.
What should we put in our custom message? Let's see where it's gonna, we'll just say something like, thanks for watching.
Okay.
Subscribe. All right, save. And then we're gonna save that. I think somebody just joined up, huh?
It's Topaz. I don't know what happened to Robin. I feel so bad that she's having a hard time.
It's okay. I mean, it's the same thing every week, to be honest. So it's a restream error at this point. So that's something we can work on, but we can still talk about shorts. I have shorts on today.
I have shorts on today too.
I'm going to allow all comments and see if we can just continue. So you see that you can do all sorts of cool stuff behind the scenes on the YouTube Studio. And then if we go back to it, it all kind of looks the same in our short. Do I hear Topaz?
Yes, you do.
I can't see. Hi, Topaz.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Hi, my people.
Hi.
Hello, my underlings. How are you? All right. So Topaz, today we're talking a little bit of short form content. Have you ever made yourself a TikTok or a reel?
A reel, yes.
Okay. What was that like? Did you enjoy it?
It was an experience, but I had to keep doing retakes because I'm so hard on myself. It's like, I don't like that one. I like this one. I don't like that. So I did it, but it was good practice. I enjoyed it.
Okay. I agree. I like the short form. It's like quick practice. Hi, Amy.
Hey, everyone.
Are you feeling grounded today? And if so, where?
Tired today, man. Yesterday was so much. My brain is kind of mush.
Yeah, what was yesterday?
Well, yesterday I had 2 guest podcast episodes come out, and my episode, plus I did a 2-hour interview with the documentary people. It's crazy.
Which took another 3 hours to download onto your computer, I bet.
That's incredible. Congratulations on your way to start the week. That's a great Tuesday.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Amy, have you played around at all with short form in terms of reels or TikToks or shorts?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Bree, how about you?
I've played around a little bit.
Have you posted any short form content before?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay, which ones?
I mean, I've done a couple TikToks, and that's probably, and I've made a couple like reels or stories. So I don't do them a lot. I find that creating new content is a lot more difficult than going in and taking content that I already have.
Right.
So that's why I love the fact that I can grab stuff that I've already created and make stuff out of it. I really need to learn to do it better and do it more often. And part of that is, one of those access issues of getting things created and done.
If only you had a library of 300 and some odd videos to choose from, huh?
I know, it would be awesome if I could just
So
do them
it's
on
a commitment
YouTube.
thing. If
Yeah,
we get down
it's low on the totem
yeah.
pole. It's super
Yeah,
low
no.
on my list. So
And
unfortunately,
that's why we're talking about is it's important, I actually didn't
it
pick
is.
this topic today, so it's ironic that you haven't used much short form because you wanted to pick on shorts a little bit today. So I think if we're going to talk about short form content, we do have to make some commitment to doing it. Otherwise, it's just wasting space in our brain to even think through it. But I also think that we do hear it everywhere that it's important.
It is
even if we
important.
don't fully understand why, it's a 15-second clip. And the part that I'm pretty excited about to kind of move into a little bit, and this will not shock anyone who's been in Creator Lab before, is that the actual things you say is really kind of the most critical part to me and to us, because yes, you can go through and scroll those short forms and we don't click on most of them. It's the ones that stop us where we go and subscribe to their channel and watch the whole video. That's what we want to be. Like TBH, don't care if I have 1,500 views if nobody subscribes. Like, I'd rather have 10 views and get someone who pulls over and wants to be a part of our crew. Like that's much more meaningful, I think, when you talk about engagement and you talk about business and branding and eventually revenue, if that's your goal. If you want to convert people to become clients or members of your group or followers or subscribers to your podcast, like all of these things require them to engage with you. So when we do that 15 seconds clip, like let's call it 15 seconds, that's a pretty high bar to jump over. It's like we got 15 seconds to convince somebody to come watch our stuff. And so one of the things that I would like to talk a little bit about and get your take on, each of you, is a kind of a modified version of what we've been talking about. So we've been talking about cutting long form content into short form. And I want to get your thoughts on using that 15 seconds as kind of your elevator pitch to the world. Because elevator pitch is not a new term to any of us. We understand what that is. It's like you have somebody in an elevator that's cornered and has to listen to you. You have X number of seconds or minutes to get across your message, and hopefully they want to walk out the elevator with you. That's kind of the concept behind it. And short form content has cut that amount of time you have down. So we're going to call it about 15 seconds because that's the reality of most of our attention spans. And if we also know that, I think one of the places I need to continue to update and where I would encourage us to commit to leaving today is making some short form content that is just short form content. Not all the time, but like occasionally throw out a 15-second that, like Bree said, is the best of the best of the best of the best, because that might be the one that pulls people over. So your less quality reels that you're pulling from long form content, that might get you thousands and thousands of retakes and reviews, and that stuff is really cool. Gives you like the smallest hit of dopamine when you hit 1,000 views on a video. It's like, yay. But you know that it means nothing if nobody subscribed in some ways, so it's a little disappointing. Yes. So I want to focus a little bit more on the subscribers and think to ourselves, what would we want to hear from ourselves in order to be interested in becoming one of those people? Like, how do we convert ourselves? Because we are our own biggest critics most of the time. So it's probably only after we've convinced ourselves that we would click on it that we will actually put it up. So let's think about that for like a moment. I know Topaz is getting back in the rhythm of things, and I'm excited to see you back. I'm wondering out of the gate, Topaz, if you have, while we think about how we would sell ourselves, do you have any up and coming artists who you've met or who you've heard, or what have you been listening to lately that's keeping your heart full? Because I know music plays such a critical part of that for you.
I've been listening to a lot of jazz because my dad listened to jazz. He's a saxophone player. And I've been listening to a lot of that. and a lot of 80s stuff that my dad liked, the older music, old school. And I actually looked at a video that I did of my dad, and it kind of like put me in a different space. I'm like, okay. But it was really, really good. But yeah, back to what you were saying, that's what I've been listening to, a lot of jazz. Just listening to music, period, because it's very healing. So
No doubt. Is there a jazz artist? I'm not super familiar with jazz, so who should I be listening to today in honor of you and your dad?
oh, stop it. Probably like Gerald Albright, Grover Washington, George Benson. He's not saxophone, but he liked him.
Topaz, I've missed your face so darn much.
Oh,
It's so nice to have you here.
Bookie. I missed yours too. Everyone's. And those are a few.
Thank you.
There's an Andrew Naw that's really good too. He's a new and upcoming saxophone.
I like his. How do you spell Andrew Naw's name?
I believe it's Neu.
Neu. Thank you.
If that's not right, I'll hit you back later.
Yeah, I found this person. This is Blue Eye Jazz, is what this is called, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Naw. Andrew Naw's got a little Blue Eyes Jazz. Or is it Blue Eyes Jazz or Blue Eyes Soul when it's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed?
I just heard the single on the radio, so I don't know. It's a variety of songs. Sometimes I don't look at the name of the song. I just listen to the artist. I look at
Andrew New looks more like Mozart than he does George Benson. Yeah. He's got curly hair. He's got a very inquisitive look on his face. He looks more like a businessman. I'm worried this guy's going to try to sell me something while he plays saxophone.
Oh, and Richard Elliott for sure.
Okay. Richard Elliott. Do you have a favorite sax piece of all time?
A favorite what?
Sax piece. Sax piece. That's a fun word to say.
I don't know what that word is.
Like a piece of music that is focused around a saxophone. I just made that up.
Oh, sax piece. Okay, I'm like X piece. What? Okay. Oh, gotcha.
Myself. What the
This was about to take a really weird turn, wasn't it? Without that clarification.
Not really. I can't think of it right now. I'm really kind of sleepy. So
yeah, no worries. I feel that.
Well, it's early, man.
It's so early. And we've had a lot of marine layer rolling in. Amy, thoughts on creating that 15-second best of the best where this would be the version in my head. This is the version when we're editing our podcast and we're editing our pieces where we cut out the tiniest of gaps to try to get it to sound as condensed as it can without also sounding bad, I guess. But what do you see this being for you, or do you have a vision of what a 15-second clip would be that would really help reel people into your brand? And what part of the brand would you want to reel them into? Would you want to pull them into Amy's Garden or into Grounded?
Oh, it would totally be Grounded in Maine. Yeah. I don't know. I've had a lot of conversations with people lately, and when I'm doing podcast interviews, when someone will say like, so I think I want to get somebody else saying it, not even me so much, but just saying you don't have to start with all the things, I've heard it so many times in my interviews, and I'm like, that is it. Like, that's what this is about. You don't have to, this guy that I just interviewed said, you don't have to start with all, you don't have to go like completely off grid first thing, start by recycling or something like that, so it's not like I haven't put a lot of thought into that, honestly, but I feel like hearing it from me might be just redundant, but to hear someone else say it, might be more meaningful. And that's how it is for me. It's like validating everything that I'm feeling to hear someone else say what I've been feeling. And so I would think that would be a good thing. I just need to find one.
I want to try to type that up. I wish. Well, we're recording, so it's fine. I'll go back and get it. That was at minute 30, right around 40, that you said some brilliance right there about how validating it is when somebody else can basically take the words out of your brain and say them better sometimes, or say them in a different way, say them in their own flavor. And all of a sudden you look in the mirror or you walk away from that conversation and you feel better about whatever it is that you're creating because someone else said it. So that's really interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way, about taking this concept of the 15-second short and using it kind of like an ad read in some ways, but more of a condensed, what's the word I'm looking for, Bree? Like when somebody gives you like a recommendation, that's not the word.
I don't know what the word is.
I don't know. I can't hear anything today.
Is this better?
It's really weird.
I'm trying to think. Like when you have somebody else do the commercial for you, basically, you would pick it's the equivalent of picking Ryan Reynolds to do your commercial for Mint Mobile instead of your promo people. Like you pick somebody that somebody understands. So in that way, it actually kind of does make sense even more, especially when you pick somebody that's got their own following, Amy, because you said redundant. And at first I was like, I don't know if it is, but if you're delivering the message to your people from your mouth in the way that you always deliver it, I could absolutely see what you're saying, that at least for yourself, that feels a little extra. And also, when we talk about expanding our audience, it's not redundant because they haven't heard your voice before, bud. So I think that your message is as strong as they come because you are really at the core of the message. Although I like both. I think that both could be a really... Like, could you get two people in 15 seconds on separate clips saying how amazing Grounded in Maine is and how easy it is to get started? And that's what we talk about, or something like that. Like, how fast could you rip off the Band-Aid?
Well, I think I might have missed part of the description of the shorts that you were thinking. And I'm like having trouble hearing this morning too. And I don't know what's going on with that.
Is it me or you?
I don't know. I can't turn my volume up anymore. So it might be me. My mind is so full, Robin, that I don't have room for any more noise. But so I just, so the meaning of the short that you're thinking of is more like an ad, where you said it's like an elevator pitch. But so, and for me, like, I don't know, I think I'm just getting tired of hearing my voice. And so I feel like, whenever I hear someone that I'm interviewing say something that is like exactly what I'm thinking, that means so much more to me. But of course, I'm not pitching to me.
Well, right now, I think that is the goal, though, because
I'm my audience.
Well, I think more so you're the one that you have to convince that it's worthwhile to put up. I think we are our own first barrier. If we never agree that what we have to say is good enough, then we will never put it out. So I guess I say that because you have to convince, whether it's your words or someone else's words, you have to be convinced that you would potentially click on it. Because if you wouldn't potentially click on it, it's unlikely you probably put it up. I think.
Maybe I'll have my husband listen. Be like, would you click on this? Because he doesn't click on anything. He doesn't listen to my podcast. He's such a punk.
So he's the worst audience. Does he listen to podcasts at all?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. You need to bring that fella in here. We're going to have a talk. What would be, like, if you were a casual listener, Amy Fagan, if this was 4 years ago, so pre having a podcast,
that could be just a year ago.
Yeah. So think of you pre-podcast, and you're scrolling next potential follower, your next potential ally, your next potential friend, however you'd like to put it, and you're all the short form content on Instagram or on Shorts or wherever it is, then the question is, what would you want?
What gets your attention?
Yeah, what would you want to see and hear? Because you have the visual element when we talk about Shorts too. So it's not just, you said you're sick of hearing your voice. You have more than just your voice when you have video. You have visual elements too, to fool people into how amazing you could be. So what would make you visually, let's look at that. What visually would make somebody want to click on a sustainability podcast? That's a good question. Visually, what
Not
would
this
we
face.
Before we get negative,
Not this face with the shower curtain behind me.
Before we go negative, because I didn't ask respectfully what we
I'm
don't
saying
want.
that would not get my attention. That's
Right.
all I'm saying.
What I want to ask is what would get your attention. Let's focus on the would. What would get your attention related to sustainability? Going back, I want to remind you of some words you said earlier as you start to visualize this a little. You said, I wouldn't want to feel overwhelmed. That's my interpretation. I wouldn't want to think that I have to like go buy a bunch of equipment and change my entire lifestyle in order to fit into this community. And I think you have something there. How would you show that visually? How could, not how would, how could. And anybody's free to jump in, Topaz and Bree.
Yeah,
like, let's think, how would Amy show in a short clip about sustainability being accessible to people?
I'm thinking like stuff that really, really simple. Like, is it simple? It is simple. It's like, it's something that everybody can do. I was listening to your podcast this morning when you were on Scoop's channel, and you were like, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn about it. So I would say, are you ready to learn about, and then just like
visual
throw up all like the like different things that you can learn. Like I was
so just like a picture of like recycling or composting, or
but I would do it in a scrapbook form kind of a thing. Yeah, I would maybe
like
do that.
Scrapbook form.
Or and then like
that's good.
You can use, if you change your cover art for each guest, or like show like some of their stuff, or give me little clips of each
Let's just
thing.
get the first
Today
one.
I learned. Yeah. So it's so simple. You can learn this, and it goes like this. Have you ever seen them do that, where they're on like the thing, and you can learn this, and then they're not really talking. It just says, well, how easy is it to be sustainable? Learn how to, and then point. You point, and then you just put the words up there as like on all the different
or the picture.
things.
I don't think
or
words.
The picture. Yeah, you can do a picture of it. Yeah, and then you just put the picture in, right? And you can
like
can
of the
add
blue
those.
recycle bin.
Right.
That's cool.
I made a reel while we were talking. It's just us on screen.
Wednesday.
It says Creator Lab Wednesday, and it just loops. Super easy. Didn't take me much to do it. Picked songs, threw it in there. Music's always really good. Picking the right like stuff. So you can even do it with like a song that you like. You don't even have to talk, but you can have the words on the screen, because you can put anything you want on there. And then you can also add a photo as you point to the different things on how easy it is. Easy, right? Like end it with that. Like where do you want to start, or however you want to do it. And it's really like that was on Instagram. So I did that reel on Instagram. They're really super simple to like create, because they give you all the stuff. So you start with yourself like doing the thing, like standing there, and then you think of your timing for pointing, and that's all you have to do. And then you go back when you go in to edit it, then you can just throw the pictures in and the words in. That might work. That's what I saw. That was where my brain went.
I love it. I love the idea of picking a few simple elements to throw in there. with your face. I do think that having your voice in there on occasion would be a good idea. Not in all of them, like Bree said, but in some, because it is podcast. Like, you do want to potentially reel people into your podcast with your lovely voice and conversation. But I also agree that especially in Instagram favors songs, and even more than songs, it favors reads. So when you find somebody else's voice talking about some silly motivational thing, if you look at the reels on my personal Instagram page, the ones that have the most views are always overlaid with somebody else's like words, not even music. So there are some sort of
Topaz, you want to be my voice?
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Let me figure out the deets. Oh my goodness.
Definitely.
That's a lot.
For sure.
Okay.
I have
I'll
a
work
quick
on
test. Topaz,
Okay.
say the word compost in your most awesome voice.
Compost. 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 Ah! Compost me. Compost this.
Ooh.
I think you got your 15-second voiceover right there. You're just saying compost
Heck
over and
yeah.
over again, and then you could do another one. Try recycle.
Recycle this. Recycle. Recycle. Recycle me. Recycle.
Can
Just
you add it?
recycle it.
Just
Recycle.
recycle it.
Add a little Z in the recycle. Recycle.
Just recycle it. Recycle.
Oh my God. My cat's knocked down my wall.
Recycle me. Damn it.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Yes. Yes.
Oh, I got one for you. Ready? Recycle, upcycle, bicycle, but whatever you do, save the environment.
Oh, stop it. Recycle, bicycle. Do whatever you want to save this planet or whatever.
Or whatever.
Or whatever. That's the best part of it.
Whatever you do, stop buying microplastics is definitely, you could make that a sensual word. Stop using microplastics in upcycle today. Oh, I think it's great. Topaz, you when are you gonna start going big on that voice acting, by the way?
Soon. I just did a audition last night. So I'm warming up. So
okay. That was pretty
You did
good.
an audition last night?
Yeah, I had to send it in last night. So it was for Wawa. It's called Wawa Hoagie Sandwiches.
Heard of
So
them,
I
Wawa.
did it like all day off and on, and then I sent it in last night.
Wow.
I might have a big project for you. Well, it's I don't know. Big project is maybe a stretch, but I want to do a table read of a superhero story, and it's a group of superheroes that are multiracial, like they're of all different ethnicities and backgrounds, and but they're a family and they're superheroes.
Yes.
And
I
this
love
person
that.
is trying to get it pitched to some people, but I'm like, dude, we should do a table read, like SNL style, where we just sort of freewheel a little bit and have some fun with it.
Okay. I'm down. I'm game.
I'm game.
I'm recycled.
Before we totally switch gears, Topaz, what are your favorite words to say? Because Amy, I think, has some pretty good ideas of what are going in her shorts. In her short form content. Topaz, what is
Oh my gosh, I was so slow with that.
what
do you put in your shorts?
Don't ask that either.
What phrasing would you use if you were going to give like your best 15-second string of words where it really showed maybe range or depth in your voice or excitement? Like, do you have a concept of different ways that you would portray your voice to really get across the strength of it?
It kind of depends on the moment or what it is. I can't just like.
But for a sample, like if you had to go with a sample, because then if this is like a theoretical world, so you would actually be kind of your own executive producer, and you would say to yourself, now Topaz, love that laugh. Let's get the laugh in there somewhere. And also, Topaz, I need you to get into your deepest and then fill in the blank. I need to get you into your deepest, happy go lucky, everything is perfect. And so there's a 15-second of you being so happy go lucky and just, throwing up deep balls about that. But then maybe there's another one where you envision the visual. I have this vision of the visual, which, Venus's colors are like dark purple. Imagine like a dark purple, dark brown for her coffee song, like these swirling sort of deep colors. And what sort of voice or words and vocals would you want to put with like that deep, almost romantic, but not quite? And then that's your 15th. Like, what would you say to describe that version? Like, because you would want to pick the words that are going to accentuate your voice, accentuate any accent that you bring to it that you think is a good thing. Again, you only have 15 seconds. So if you have a favorite word to say, that would be the place to say it. Maybe even over and over again of like recycle. You could have different iterations of it that might show off your range, because you do have a huge range. What's your favorite word?
I have so many. My gosh. I love outstanding. I love that word. Outstanding.
I love it when you really accent it though. Outstanding.
Okay. With the NGGGG, baby. I like the word winning. Guys, it's a lot of words. Unshakable, unstoppable, work it. I love to say work it. And it depends. I have to think about it. I can't just spontaneously do it.
What you just did was create an empowerment reel. So I know you were looking for words to like fill the silly thing Trevor said, which was how do you get your voice into short form content? And also, I think what you did is just create shareable content, because all the words you picked were empowerment words. And I think people might actually just reshare what you said, not because of necessarily just the way you say it, but also because of the words you chose. So the 15-second reel that you just blurted out was really, really good. You should write those words and say those words and pop that on a reel. It was really excellent. I think people will dig it.
Okay.
I would 100% subscribe to a 5-minute a day Topaz empowerment.
Oh, Amy.
Totally, I would. Like I eat that stuff up.
Thank you. Okay.
I would eat your words too.
Okay. I do too.
Eat my words. It's like eat my shorts. You remember when people used to say eat my shorts? That's from The Simpsons, when Bart used to say eat my shorts, except Topaz line, chew on this. And then you drop it in. Chew on some words from Topaz Wells, the voice of you. We are outstanding. We are spectacular. You look so great today. Like, oh my gosh, you could just go off in all the ways you do on a theme. And I mean, I know I've told you this before. We've told you this before. You don't need any more training. You're so good.
You're perfect the way that you are.
Thank you.
My goodness.
That was fun. How do you feel, each of you, Amy and Topaz, about if you were going to leave this conversation? I know it's not the case, but if you're going to leave this conversation and go take like the next half hour to bust out a couple of short forms just for experimental and only share them with us, would you feel that you could at least record them? Because the posting's a different deal, but at least the recording, because like we talked about, the engagement portion is really critical. And then you can have somebody help you fit it into the stupid formats that they're supposed to fit. But do you think you could bust out a couple of 15-minute just recordings on your phone?
You said 15-minute or 15
A 15
second?
second, I apologize.
Yeah.
No.
Sure, you can. You can
I
do it.
could.
No, I've never done that style of reel with like Instagram with the.
Well, yeah,
the
that's what I'm
things that you
saying though.
point
Is
out.
just
I've seen them, but I've never done it.
just the content, not the actual platform. Like if the only
It's the
platform
word.
that it was going to get shared is in like the creator lab, and that's the only place it was going to be is in like a safe place where you don't have to worry about the social
Yeah,
media algorithm.
Totally. Then, yeah.
You can just record it
I
on
don't
your
have to put it
phone
all together,
and
then yes.
upload it, right? You can just do it on your phone, and then if you've got the Mighty app on your phone, you can upload it right there and just put it there. Super easy.
Yeah.
And fun.
And nerve-wracking.
Yes, very.
But also all the things. So that was fun. Thanks for indulging me.
Mhm.
I'll shut up now. I had a lot of I don't like short form content either, but what I'll leave you with, and I'll turn it over to everyone else to do what you want to do. And Bree, I think, probably has at least a couple logistical things. People sometimes take the short form as the easiest form, and it is the absolute opposite. So if somebody were going to walk up to me and say, I'm going to give you a presentation space in an upcoming conference, my first question would be, how long? And if they said an hour and a half, I'd be stoked because I can absolutely fill an hour and a half with content. But if somebody said you have 5 minutes, that is a much.
What do you possibly pick? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bigger lift because you're trying to accomplish all of the same things in a shorter time. You're trying to engage your audience. You're trying to make your audience feel special. You want them to feel all the love that they would if they were in with you for an hour and a half, but you have 5 minutes. And with the 15-second reel, you're trying to do as much of that as you can. You're trying to engage someone. You're trying to make them feel special. Because think about what people are looking for when they're scrolling through wherever, whether it's Netflix or on Shorts. They're looking for that dopamine. They're looking for the hit of, I feel good, because that's how social media has trained us. So in some ways, like your vision and your mission is fairly straightforward. It's in what way can I take this thing that I do and make someone else feel good about it? Amy, I think you absolutely hit that on the head with how you talked about it should be accessible and easy. Like that concept for any short you ever do is brilliant. It's going to be good because you have the right vision in mind.
Did I say that?
You did. You didn't use the word accessible, but you said it's got to make people not feel overwhelmed. I want people to feel like they can do it. And Topaz accidentally did the same thing. She made an empowerment reel. Like that's going to make people feel good. And so in that way, if today was a graded exercise, I think you both got an A+. I don't know what I would say because I haven't thought about it. I try to say stuff all the time, but I want to tell you that I'm really, really happy and really, really proud. And I really can't wait to see them in Creator Lab about what you put together for your short reels, because you absolutely have the right vision in mind. And the rest of it is just subtlety. Like you can work on it and iterate it, but you are 100% where you need to be with that, because the content of the 15 seconds is the most important thing. Everything else you can edit and cut down and retag and repost and do all the stupid things that we're supposed to do. But if you get that 15-second cut right, then I can run it on my show too. You know, send us your cut and we can run it through our show as a little clip. We can find a video editor who can put it with a really cool video. I can take you into Adobe Stock and we can look for the best stock video with the best 15 seconds to go with what you say. For Topaz especially, I feel like that would be easy, but for both of you, because the elements you're looking for, like you could get what you need in Canva, Amy. It would take us very little time. Once you had the words and once you had the audio, we could overlay it with some video and it won't take very long to get that pretty good, I think. And Topaz I think is really easy because when you talk, Topaz, it evokes so many images in my head, like you speak in artwork. So we would just go find some stock artwork that would go with what you are saying. And I think we would have our shorts. Like you're 95% of the way there. The hard stuff is what you're saying and getting it right for people, because most people are self-centered and your messages aren't self-centered. And again, when you're scrolling through, you don't want to see somebody always just talking about themselves. You want to see how it can benefit you. What's it going to do for me? And Amy's is, I can do this thing that is sustainability that's too overwhelming. And for Topaz, it's, I can get up. I can love life. I can do this thing. That's what I get. So I want to thank you both for kind of inspiring me with your visions of how to serve people, because that's what all of our content probably should be if we want to hit it. Gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great lesson.
It was beautiful. Perfect.
Cool ideas.
What did I miss, Bree?
Nothing. You hit everything. I mean, it's just getting your toes wet. It's just getting something, trying something a little different, and putting yourself out there just a little bit, and then just start with us. And that's the best way to start. And that you never know where it's going to go. And I think my biggest takeaway today was having Topaz do Amy's voiceover stuff. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. Like, that's just so much fun. And I think that, like, that makes it easier and more fun, right? Because it's not just you now. You've got like someone that you can do that with, and it just takes a lot of the pressure out. It takes a lot of the pressure off you. So then just have fun with it. Make it fun. It has to be fun. It should be fun. And so, and that made us all smile and laugh and giggle. And we had a great time immediately. And that's what you want to share with your audience. So do that. If you say something like that, it turns into that. You're like, that's like, okay, that's a winner. That's what I'm doing. That's like, put that down for sure. Because if that immediate response is what you got, that's what your immediate response is from the audience, right? They're going to love it. Absolutely love it.
Smart.
So, yeah. That's perfect.
You're right.
I think it's
Right.
phenomenal.
If it makes you smile, it's probably going to make somebody else smile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. And how can that voice not? How can that voice not?
Well, let me know, Amy, because I'm ready.
Okay.
I think y'all could do a swap too, because in addition to Topaz, you did such a nice job like working through the compost, and like that was sort of a fun exercise. Amy, I think when you said to Topaz, I would listen to your 5-minute segment every day, that was also a great endorsement that could go along with that 15-second clip. Like,
absolutely.
I like to feel good about myself. Do you?
I said it all along. I will keep saying it till it happens. Yeah. So, Bree.
Yes, love.
What's happening with the retreat?
Yes, with the retreat. Trevor, we have to talk about that.
The Bree treat.
Yep. May
is coming up very fast.
It's in less than a month.
I know.
The Bree treat retreat, the thawed edition. Get it? The thawed?
Oh, the thawed. Yes, thawed.
Thawed
out. We are thawed out. We are already at 70 degrees right now.
Isn't that crazy?
It's
Here too.
I see snow out my window. It is 70 degrees and there's snow outside. It is weird.
I'm more excited than ever for the Bree treat and for visiting Minnesota, because I learned that 3M is based there too.
Did you not know that? Oh yeah.
Why would I know that 3M?
Yeah,
3M is based in Minnesota.
That like the tape? They make tape?
They make tape. They make sticky notes. They make everything adhesive wise. They're not very sustainable, which would be an interesting conversation.
They got their asses sued for millions of dollars for contaminating the local water shelf, whatever it is, water table thing. Yeah, got big trouble, still affecting people. Yeah, it's right down the road. It's not very far from me. And yes, Amy, to Maya Cuisine, there is one that is not like probably 5 miles from me right now. The big restaurant is in Minneapolis in Roseville area, but the closest one to me is 5. It's not even. It's at the mall. It's really close to me. I hear good things about them. So yeah, they're right down the road. They're not far. That's doable.
I love burritos.
Yeah. There's another place that's close by that has amazing food. They've catered stuff before, and they're like literally walking distance from each other. So
yeah. It should be good because we can do more outside, and outside content, especially for Amy, is good. But I think outside in general, it's obviously something I have a ton of value in because I spend so much time refreshing my brain outside. And in that way, it's going to make for some cool potential like little nature walks to help clear our mind, because part of the creative process that many people overlook is giving yourself a chance to just sit with stuff. So after like we get into something intense, like we just did, for instance, it would be the perfect time to then go on a walk, because what you start seeing is all the opportunities to use the props that are nature in your next video, or it gives you connections that you hadn't thought of. And then when you come back, it's going to do the same thing. Now you see all the elements of the room you're in the same way that you saw all of the nature on the walk you were on. So different pattern breaks in the creative process is definitely one of the most underrated parts of the creative process. And don't kid yourself, when we create our stuff, the more creative process we put behind our content or behind what we're selling, the better chance we have to stick out in a world that is very saturated with offerings, whether it be podcast or whether it be music. There's just more stuff that's released than ever before. So there's a higher standard to be more intentional and more everything. But I don't think it's just more extra. It's like just more unique and more you. There's only one. I mean, it's so cliche, but there is only one version of you in the whole cosmos. And in that way, there is only one version of you who's had all the little subtle experiences that you have. So the only question, because the question of whether you're special or unique or not is not a question. Like, that's the thing. Like, scientifically, you are unique. So the question then becomes, how are the different ways that I want to bring that out to people? Not what are they looking for, but what are the ways that I want to bring out to show people that version of myself? So I think that not having a frozen tundra is pretty sweet. All that to say that I'm glad it's not going to be like -10. To speak directly to the point about some next steps that would be helpful to us in moving some of those initiatives forward. We talked a little bit about early in the week, Amy, about the affiliates and whatnot. And I was a little confused on how easy it could be, at least for now. So Topaz, have you been in the creator lab, right? The little networky thing.
Yeah.
The little networky thing.
I'm going to send you the link now for both of you so you can pull it up if you wouldn't mind, because I want to make sure you can find this button, because this is how we can send you money back. Like, I want to send money, but also get more friends in the creator lab. And it's pretty easy. So once you open the creator lab, there's a little person in the top right corner. It looks like a little human being with their head cut off, and it's got a plus button next to it. Hey, I didn't make the graphic. It's in the chat if you open up. But do you see the little person that got their head cut off?
Yes.
It's not cut off.
That says invite.
Yep.
I don't see it.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll pop it back so you can see it, Topaz. Does this screen look familiar at all to you, Topaz?
Yes.
Okay. You see it right up here.
Oh, over there. Yeah. Okay. I see.
Little fella, head cut off. The little fellow with the little fellow with their head cut off. If you copy that link is directly connected to your creator account with us. And so anytime you share that with someone, it will take them to the sign up for Creator Lab. It doesn't take them to the mall. It doesn't take them to all the different things we offer. It very simply takes them to get into the Creator Lab for the first time. and it gives them the option for the 14-day free trial or pay now, because if somebody wants to pay now, like, sure, great, that's wonderful. But if somebody needs a discount, of course, just ask us. If you find somebody that really wants to be in it and doesn't want to deal with any of the money parts or has different needs, just say so. But if you use that link, that will allow them to get in, and it will immediately tie it back to you. So in terms of moving the retreat forward, I think we need to, we need to see that we can get some more people in Creator Lab first, because we want to run it through Creator Lab. And then also, of course, for anybody who's a part of our circle, it's $20 for everybody who joins Creator Lab, and once they pay. So it's basically half. It's not basically, it is. It's 50-50. So if somebody joins and pays, you get half of it. That's not true for everybody who will ever do that, but that's true for like our people or whatnot. It's just 50-50.
Do I have to pay to get in? No. Because it was saying that I had to pay.
Oh, well, when?
This morning.
Okay, we'll take a peek at that.
Okay.
You should be in, though. I will make sure that those things are adjusted and fixed, but that little link is how you can let other people into Creator Lab, and that is going to be definitely a really critical step forward to building some momentum for Retreat, because we need, of course, some buy-in to make that a viable option, and the Creator Lab really is kind of the entry into that. And the other thing we're really excited about, Amy and Topaz, I think you probably both know people that fit this bill. You know how Charles does that one-off, like the Q&A on Thursdays, and we have different events throughout the week? We want to let people do that. Like random people, if they want to give a 15 or 45-minute little lesson on whatever their niche is, we want to give them a place to do that in Creator Lab so they can practice what they're doing and then feel more confident to maybe start their own podcast at some point like he did. Which is super awesome. So if you know people who are great teachers or want to be instructors or want to practice some new things, it can be a good place for that too. And we're just kind of leaving that wide open for people to do. If we can learn from them and they get a chance to practice, it seems like a pretty good fit. We have a little bit of development to do with the Retreat and a couple of elements to add in, but really the most important thing is this, because we have the plan. We've had the plan since the first time we talked. We have infinite other places we can add. One of the most critical questions is how many people are going to be online. And if it's 15 people versus 1,500 people, that's a different approach. So as we gain some interest in the program at large, it will help us kind of guide how many people we can expect at Retreat. But the most important thing is just getting people involved and getting people interested in it, because obviously we can do Creator Lab and do this little thing forever, but until it's helping pay back some of the software, we have to keep it smaller. So does that help a little bit with that question? I know that's kind of a convoluted answer, but it's also complicated.
Everything is complicated.
It's so complicated. So frustrated. Isn't that an Avril Lavigne song?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Figure out why Topaz is having a hard time to get into things. So I'm looking at.
Topaz got a computer from a different planet. That's why.
No, I got a brand new computer. I got an HP. I bought a new one.
A Hewlett Packard?
Yes. I got a good deal. Yeah, so when I go in, I always have to log in with the link. Do I just go into NumoSpect and then, because it was saying which plan do I want? I'm like, what are you talking about?
All right.
No, you should go to.
You have to log in, probably.
Yeah.
I'll find it for you. We'll get it. Sorry about that, because you have an account, so it's.
Yeah, you're here, so.
It's all good that way. Let's see where the login. is. Here you go. You go, Topaz. I know that's a super long hyperlink, but that will take you to the login page. And if it doesn't work, if you can't remember your password, just hit forgot password with your email, and then it should be able to, of course, like do the normal forgot password rigmarole.
Okay.
Because you already have a plan in there.
Yeah, you're in the plan. It shouldn't be charging you anything. I was just double checking all that in the background.